Welcome to the Liberal 12th Man Show. I am the Liberal 12th Man, just like you, and I am pretty optimistic because today we're going to go over some of the dates and important dates and everything else on the fixtures. Also, give you a little bit of a sip on the gossip tea out there about some of the latest rumors. A little bit of tea, not too much. You don't want to overindulge. And
2 sugars, please.
2 sugars, exactly. And sweet and low, probably too. And just take fill some questions from the audience, and have a good Tuesday. So I'm joined right now currently by the Irishman. How are you doing, Irishman?
Yeah, very good. Just watched a great game, Turkey versus Georgia. Couple of contenders for goal of the tournament already. So yeah, not a bad one. Not a bad one to watch.
Yeah. The goal scorer in that game was a player that I definitely I think is a talent, to say the least. And it's one of those things. It's so incredible that Real Madrid is at such a high level of intrigue or just prominence, where they could have a player like that basically just like on loan or sitting on the bench, one or the other, And talking about Arda Güler, the Turkish phenom, very talented player. He was one of the players actually that I had on when we were doing the transfer sporting director show. He was on the list. He was on my list of players to try to,
I
acquire.
think his price just went up.
Oh, certainly.
I think they stuck another 20 million on him. It was a great game. Yeah, it was. Anyone that was watching, it was a great game.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we were talking about the other day where they're going to fit in. The likes of Mbappe and Hendrick and Vinny and Rodrigo, and without even talking about this kid,
Yeah.
He's like you said, he's too good to be sitting on the bench. I don't think Ancelotti is talking him up. He's talking about how good he is, so they obviously don't plan on losing him. But they're going to have to have a decision to make, because he is too good to be just sitting there doing that.
Yeah. I know you hate the names of when people put the moniker or put the picture of he's the Turkish Messi, they call him.
Yeah, so, which is unfortunate, seeing as he's at Real.
Yeah, exactly. It is kind of weird. I guess who would you put him as if you weren't going to put Messi behind it? Then who would you say? Who's their Messi on Real Madrid's lore? Would be like.
Well,
I wouldn't say Ronaldo. I know Ronaldo is their equivalent of star power versus in that era, considering they were the two main fixtures. But midfielder. Who's like, I don't know. I'd have to maybe the chat can come up with that for us, because I don't know. I don't know who who would be their version of their greatest midfielder. Zidane, maybe. Zidane was like, I always thought Zidane is more of like definitely a scorer, but like not necessarily like a.
Maybe the Turkish Guti.
Okay, well, Turkish what?
Guti.
Oh, okay. Ozil. Yes, that's it.
Yeah,
that's
a
it.
better one.
That one's it. Yeah, that is it right there. Yeah.
Ozil is, kind of.
He is Turkish too.
Born in Germany.
Yeah, about to say he is Turkish. I mean, technically he's German. I get that.
The new
Ozil.
Yeah. The new Ozil.
Yes, do it like that. Yes. Yeah. Yes. That's even better. Yeah. So great game. I know there's another great game, or not necessarily a great game, but there's another game that's on the books today that should be starting off pretty soon. Game I'm interested to see, maybe gain some points in the fantasy football league that I'm poorly poorly in last place of. But yeah, Portugal versus Czechoslovakia is gonna be or Czech Republic. It's gonna be coming up. We've got a couple of players involved in that, or at least Diego actually is involved in that for us. That's gonna be that's a red. Be a good game. If you're gonna watch it, please do just put it on in the background if you do, if you would, and continue to have us as your entertainment as well. Double dip, I guess you could say. But yeah, there's some other things too going on, right? Like I said, the fixtures list was announced just recently. I don't know if you got to take a look at it, but I could bring it.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah. I can remember a couple of, but not obviously. I know we have first and last. I know that much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Ipswich Town is our first matchup,
away.
right?
Ipswich away. Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's I suppose some people prefer a home start. I don't mind. Maybe it's they'll call it like it's the potential banana skin because you'll be going away to a newly promoted team and
Right.
away a home crowd, and they'll be up for it and all of that. Like, so if you're not completely ready, it's one where you could get turned over very, very easily if you don't show up, if you're not ready first game of the season away from home. So, but that all really kind of depends, well, what you do on the day, but how they get on in the market during the summer. Like, the guy's a really good manager. He's the guy that turned down Chelsea. So it's on paper, it's like, oh, well, 3 points, Ipswich. But yeah, like I said, they're going to be pumped up first game back in the Premier League in a long time. They're going to be, they're going to want the fans a show. So you can't go there expecting 3 points just because they're Ipswich. They're a really small team. It's the real potential to go badly wrong, that kind of game. Like I say, if you're not switched on. Again, us with a new manager trying new things. Yeah.
Should be interesting.
All eyes will be on it. All eyes will be on it. That one, I think. Everybody that's not a Liverpool fan or an Ipswich fan will have an eye on that, hoping that we slip up and that there's a big shock on the first weekend. Because there's usually, well, not usually, but fairly regularly, you do get a bit of a, because I saw someone already today going through the list and deciding how many points we were going to have by December. You can't. They're looking. Oh well, we'll win that. 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 We'll draw that. Oh, that'll be a tough game. They wouldn't even say we'd lose a game. So, we might not win that one. We'll win that one. We'll win. It's like, yeah, right, okay, come on, like.
Yeah, that's good luck on that one because we tried that. We tried our hand at trying to pick the end of the season fixtures, and it'd be funny. We should take a look at that sometime and see how, because I know we were all pretty off because we picked games that all of us had Crystal Palace versus, I think all of us had us winning that at home against Crystal Palace. Like there's games that never really pan out the way that you foresee them panning out. Injuries, the whole likes always get involved in the mix as well. But definitely Guten Tag to Hylor, and big up to Alexander, by the way. Big up to MK Toe. Big up to Hash. Big up Bonkers. Big up Red for Life. Definitely. Big up to all you guys joining us right now. So this is the fixture. So Manchester United are the Friday night lights. fixture.
So 16th of August. Okay, 16th
Yep.
of August.
Yep.
And we're in on the we're
We're
on the we're on
also
a bloody early
just
kickoff. Of course, it's an early
exactly
kickoff.
just as Premier League said. You know what? Here's your little present here. Welcome
to Liverpool.
Liverpool. You cried so much, or you complained so much about 12:30 kickoffs. Well, why don't we start you off the year for 12:30 kickoff? You know what's funny about this too, by the way, is that I was in the chat of another channel, and someone brought up I wasn't in the chat. I was on the panel of the show actually, and someone brought up a super chat or something like that, and it was like, oh, 12:30 fixture, Liverpool, and we were all joking. This is before it had been announced, and we're all joking. We're like, oh, I was like, oh, it's so atypical that they would give us like a 12:30 matchup, and and then it ended up being the guy that had put the super chat in was like, no, I was just kidding, I was just playing around. We're all like, all right, cool. Yep, there you go. Apparently that was a look into the future, because that's pretty pathetic. Hi, Laura. I'm disappointed, but then again, I'm not surprised. By the way, hi, Laura. Tell you the truth, hi, Laura's talking about Diego starting on the bench this evening. I'm not surprised, by the way, by that. I'm not surprised, because I
didn't expect him to start, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's not going to. He's most likely not going to start over Leao. He's not going to start over Bernardo Silva, and Cristiano Ronaldo.
10 games of the season.
What's that?
Yeah, if he played the last 10 games of the season, he was going into it, off the back of a fully fit few months. Then, but even then, I probably think he's still, just because of what you just said there, that the players that are ahead of him, I still think he's probably their first choice off the bench. And he's exactly that guy who they would be hoping that they'll be qualified with a match to spare, and then they can rest Ronaldo, and Jota will start the game, or they'll rest somebody else and Jota will start the game. That's probably the way it will go. But I can see him doing what he does for Liverpool. International tournament, international football kind of suits him a little bit that way in terms of impact. I can see him having a lot of impact off the bench in this tournament.
Yeah, for sure. I think it'll be like the super sub kind of concept here. Like he's done that for us as well, by the way. So it wouldn't be necessarily like foreign to him to be able to come off, score a quick couple of shots. Yeah, big up.
Coming on against a kind of a weaker team that's been chasing Leo and Bernardo and these boys for an hour and a half, or for an hour. They've got João Felix as well. They can bring on Jota. Then he's the kind of guy who'll be, he's the kind of guy that kind of sits there and watches the game. When he's on the bench, he's kind of watching to see where their issues are, where their weaknesses are, where the cracks are. Exactly. He's got that kind of thing in him to come on. So he's a great weapon to have off the bench. But that's a good, that's apart from the fact that they have a 41-year-old, I think, Pepe, playing at centre half. Yeah, it's a very, very strong team. That's a bit, that's not ideal. I'm surprised that he's the best option, although he is still playing. If he's still able to do it.
Well, he did just bring. Yeah, he did. He also was like very, very important in that Champions League run that he had with his club. So he did do well.
It's
I'm talking about Pepe.
It's great to see. Yeah, it's great to see. I'm sure Ronaldo is. The two of them are nearly 100.
Almost combined age of at least like 90. Yeah.
So it's the only thing that I look at that team and go, oh, that's potentially a weakness. Other than that, they're very strong side.
Especially if you got they're coming out in a 3-4-3. So I mean, like, you're gonna have a 41-year-old, in a back three. you're definitely rolling the dice to say that you're looking to see a lot of pressure going the other way, and
Yeah,
not being, yeah.
yeah. I'm assuming they've got this kid Mendez in beside him, so you'd have like Diaz and Mendez and Pepe, and then they've got Dallo and Cancelo in a kind of a wing back
Mhm.
thing. So then you'd have like who have you got in the middle with Bernardo Silva to
Mhm.
let Bruno do his thing. They probably have a defensive guy who I've forgotten,
Mhm.
Portuguese guy. Um, and then yeah, you've got Ronaldo, you've got Leao, got Joe Felix, Jota. Yeah, it's I wouldn't back him to win the whole thing, but with Ronaldo in the side, you probably got a chance of goals, or do you? I don't really know, but there's like Bernardo Silva and Bruno Fernandes.
Mhm.
They've probably got enough creativity to get semis, but really don't know. I don't know.
Mhm.
Not great at predicting internationals.
Yeah, yeah. Let's real quick, let's get back to this lineup. I'm gonna bring up your I just saw Hylor put in a little bit of a rumor update. Yeah, if you guys got rumor updates or different things that you want to share, definitely put them into the chat. I'll star them and I'll bring them back a little bit later on in the show. I'll bring them up and just kind of go through each one and either comment or address whatever is the comment or topic that you guys are looking to speak on. Big up, Marion. Big up to one of our Reds queens in the house for
Hey,
sure.
Marian.
Big up. Always a pleasure to see you. Um, yeah, I just wanted to get back to these fixtures real quick. So, all right, so we start off the year as we said, Manchester United versus Fulham. That's not an easy matchup. Let's just keep it 100. I think that they'll be on. I get it. It is a game at Old Trafford, but still, Fulham was a team that caused Manchester United problems. I'm not positive, but did they beat them last year? I think they might have beat them last year too. I have to double check on that. Um, but Fulham can be a team that can cause problems on their day. It's going to be a heck of a lot of pressure. Excuse me, on Manchester United to perform well. They've got the spotlight to themselves on that day. They just brought back Eric Sevenhag, and I'm sure if there's a lot of pressure for him to start off the year right, because I'm sure if he does lose, he'll be already hearing it from the very beginning. We already spoke on the away fixture for us. Um, you know what is interesting? Manchester City. There was talks on Manchester City. Let me see their last, bring it down to here. Manchester City have like an easy run towards the end of the year for Manchester City. Is very, very, like, as in the games and the fixtures that they have are all somewhat against teams that were outside of Europe, and if not, they're mid-table, if not bottom of the table teams that are their last 10 fixtures. So it's a matter of you have to. I think you're going to have to start off the year strong um, if we're going to keep pace with Manchester City. Obviously, Manchester City once again go into this year as a certain favorite to lift the title. Um, but it's something of a it is certainly something of a concern that we have to start the season off well this year. I think that's obvious, but I mean it's a even more so a concern, not a concern, but an emphasis this year for us, because if we don't, then by December we could be already out of not only title contention, but like as in having to just seriously fight for top four. So, have you did you see some of the fixtures, by the way? I can bring it to certain days and
Well, I
shut
can just
and
I can see
let me see if I can get it
like
for
there
you.
it's Fulham and it's Southampton and it's Bournemouth in the last three. But again, if they go deep in competition, some of those games might be rearranged. But yeah, again, yeah, it is a long time away. It's a very long
Yes,
time away.
yes,
So, of course, we're going to have to start the season well. Of course, we'll try and do that. But
yeah.
yeah,
Here.
when we're at that
I'll bring up
stage,
our final six.
3 games of the
Final
season.
6. Mm-hmm. I'll show you this one. This is our final 6 matches.
You know, if it's
Actually.
okay. Leicester.
That would be like our last week.
It's a tough little run. You'd imagine. I don't know what Chelsea will be like next year, or what Tottenham will be like next year. But
well, there's no. You
always,
notice that in the last 6 fixtures, there's no like home run, or there's no like home game. You know, like you get the home fixture, back-to-back home fixture. It's away, home, away, home, away, home on our last 6 games, and the away games being against at the Bridge, Leicester, who can be a little bit of a pain in the butt when we go to their grounds, and then we have away at Brighton, who have been a difficult place to go to as well for us the last couple of years.
Yeah, new manager there as well, but again, very far into the future. These ones, again,
these ones definitely aren't very far. Yes, certainly.
Yeah, I'm fine with home away, home away, home away. That's how it really should be. But if you look at those teams, there are teams that all 3 of them plus us could be doing well in Europe or in cup games. So again, a lot of rearranged fixtures, a lot of postponed fixtures.
Yeah,
but it's not a it's not a brilliant final game. We're going to have to play them, but yeah, you'd rather not have to play Tottenham, Chelsea, and Arsenal 3 in a row at any stage of the season. But
yeah,
anyhow, I look like, again, you get, like you're saying, we have to start. Well, if you look at our first, I do remember looking just quickly, and it seems like we do have a pretty handy first 6. Just on paper, I think we maybe one tough issue. We seem to have a lot of kind of Southampton and Wolves, and obviously Ipswich. And I'd imagine probably Palace if they're playing them last in the first few games. So yeah, it's, if we do need to get points on the board, I'm not going to do what I was criticizing that other person for doing earlier on, but I mean, it's not like on paper.
right.
Yeah, it's not like on you look paper. At it on paper and go, oh, we can't even get a decent start to the season with all those ads. Oh, we've got City second game, and then 2 weeks later, it's sort of, there's a path there. Like,
well, this is our schedule right here. Ipswich, then we go to Brighton. Then we have Manchester United, or very early Manchester United trip to Manchester, very early on the 31st of August. And then we have Forest, Bournemouth, Wolves, Palace. Then we have Chelsea, Arsenal, Brighton. Like it's not like we have some a nice little easy fixture run at any point, really. Our fixture list is certainly spread out.
If you look there, like if you're to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the first 7 games: Ipswich, Brentford, Man United, Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, Wolves, and Palace. It's only really Man United away that sticks out as an on paper home tough game. We'll see what Palace, but that's to just playing it on paper, and then we get into that run there, like we have in the back 6 of Palace, Chelsea, Arsenal. When do we first? It's Saturday, the 7th of December is the first, and it is the last game ever at Goodison Park. So that's one to take note of. They'll be gone out of there by next season, so that's going to be the last ever Merseyside derby at Goodison Park.
Yeah, there is that's going to be after those first 7 matches. We got a nice little run. Like there's like those 4 weeks are going to be tough. I'm not saying that the first 7 weeks will be a cakewalk, But yeah, Chelsea at home. Then we go to the Emirates, and then we have to face off against Brighton, and then we'll have a new manager, and then we have Villa. Those are four pivotal weeks. If we can come out with some results in those weeks, that'll be great. And then obviously Manchester City on November 30th, and then we do have Everton on December 7th. Speaking of December, there is something that I wanted to bring up too, as well. So apparently the plans are this for 2025 because AFCON is normally AFCON is in January and it's it's a little further into January. It's not like the beginning of January, but because of FIFA's expanded Club World Cup, because that has been done, they are now finalizing the plan to start AFCON in late December. So in all honesty, we could be seeing late December. I'm assuming it's probably going to be around this December 26th fixture, where we face off against Leicester at home, and then we'll have West Ham on 3 days later. So we have a Thursday and then a Sunday game. That's always a fun run. And then let me see if I can bring this one up. And then we have fun times. Then we have Manchester United at home. So what it's looking like is we will have, because of the AFCON, we will have basically a return of no Mo Salah and any other players that will be involved with AFCON that are on our squad. We won't have their services during that week or during that run.
If we didn't buy anybody, it would just be Mo, right? If we didn't buy anyone.
I think it's just going to be Mo. Let's kind of pause and think about who would be.
Yeah, it's just Mo. Yeah, unless we bought a I don't know, Kudus or something like that, was playing for Ghana or whatever. I think unless we brought someone in, it would just be Mo. So that might I don't know if it would or wouldn't, but you'd imagine that would be factored into the thinking of any kind of transfer decision, any particular player. Again, like you were talking about it, like Christmas football is one of the last kind of things that hasn't been kind of messed around with, and that's just really going to mess around with. I know it's not something that's happening every year, but well, the Club World Cup thing is, so pretty much every December now, I'm sure that's going to happen. So even if the AFCON wasn't happening, that would be happening. So yeah, December was already like, it was crazy. There was too much football played in basically the space of a week over Christmas, but it was brilliant, like 3 games in a week. Yeah, it is a bit too much football, but everybody loved it. And it only happened for a week. Now they've got all these other things going on. Again, they did have other tournaments, but not as much as they have now. So it's not like they played 3 games a week every week in England. It was just like, it was just like spring break, just everyone just went crazy for 1 week. 3 games in a week. A game, some teams were playing after 2 days. And everybody loves it. Everybody bloody loves it. Over Christmas, everyone in the pub, eating too much food, watching football, and the football is basically every day, non-stop. But if you want to dilute that in any way, go ahead. It's still going to be what it will be. The games will still be played. But if you've got a Man City that are away at something, or we're away at something, so we're postponing Christmas games, no, fans ain't going to be happy about that. To go and play in some tournament in Yokohama or something,
Yeah.
You know,
No, you're right.
no
I
disrespect
mean,
to Yokohama, but just no fans aren't
right.
going to be flying out to Japan while they're spending their money that you have to spend over Christmas. You know,
Right.
if you can afford to do all that, then fair play. But yeah, it's not feasible for most people. So
There's there is, like, for instance, as a result of the expansion of UEFA club competitions this season, the domestic calendar, and you might have noticed this, there are quite a few pictures here. The domestic calendar has been revised to consist of 33 weeks, 4 midweek rounds of matches, and 1 bank holiday. The midseason break has been removed. Normally, or not normally, but last year at least, we did have a January winter break, which I thought was good. Actually, I actually did appreciate the winter break. Actually, I think that that's a smart thing to have.
yeah, they got it
Especially
for
with all
one
the,
year.
yeah, exactly, 1 year, and they're like, that's enough. We'll take it back.
Yeah,
No,
Klopp left, and Klopp was
yeah,
the one. Klopp was one of the people campaigning for that.
yeah.
Big style, and so they gave it. And as soon as he's gone,
They're like, yeah, we'll take this right back. Thank you very
yeah,
much. Um, so yeah, the mid-season break has been removed, um, to allow a mid-August start for the Premier League after this summer's, obviously the Euros that are currently on. This later start, or this later start, excuse me, allows players a consecutive 3-week break after taking into account expert advice from medical and technical departments. Okay. Which values a longer period of complete rest in the summer rather than a short break in the winter. Also, the Premier League is also, for those of you that are
mm,
lucky enough to go to some of these fixtures in the UK, the Premier League is also committed to giving supporters a minimum of 6 weeks' notice on UK broadcast selections until December 2024, and then in January of 25 until match week 37, it'll be 5-week notice that you'll have, just so you know. Um,
yeah. And why don't they
Basically,
just go ahead and make all the Liverpool, Everton, and Liverpool Man United games early kickoffs now? Just do it now
yeah,
rather than waiting
just do it now, get
waiting
it
for
over with.
5 weeks.
Yeah,
Coming,
just
yeah,
prep us
coming up
right
with your
now.
policing concerns. You don't have to worry. We all know
Mm,
what the crack is. It's going to be. So just set them at 12:30 now and stop the pretense. Just do it
yeah,
now.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Um, yeah, I'm actually I am looking forward to it. It's kind of strange because we already with Euros this year, we got this, like, we're still getting our fix of football, especially with Copa coming up next week. Or actually, yeah, coming up this upcoming week, actually, it's coming up. Um, and it's one of those things where it the season has ended, obviously. A lot of us have not even seen our current coach. He's still, I don't know if he's still on holiday or not. Um, but that's understandable, considering that he hasn't been uh, he wouldn't be doing anything really anyway. It's pretty much. I mean, he is working behind the scenes somewhat, but it's not like he's got to, like, put the cones out and have practice or something like that, or anything like that. So, and he's not really involved in the way that our former coach was when it comes to a lot of the acquisitions that we would be making. So, but it is great that we do have Euros, but it's almost like, before you know it, football will be back. It'll be mid-August, as I said, because they made a mid-August start. Football will be back in about a month and a half, or so that alone could be what we have to look forward to.
It's it's basically 2 months. 2 months. Today is the 18th, and it starts up again on the 16th. So Yeah. Even though you still have your Euros in between, so football never really goes away.
Yeah, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. But that's a good thing. It's a good thing. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. We all
No,
love
the
our
Euros are
football.
great.
Yeah. Um, there are a couple other things I wanted to bring this up to. There was a really, really good comment here. Let me bring it up. It's from Hi Lord. He was saying that the Colombian journalist Brian Arteta Canazares has gone further in claiming that a meeting is scheduled between Diaz's representatives and emissaries from, I said I'll give you a little tea, so here's your little dash of tea here. Emissaries from a Spanish club in the United States, either this week or next. I don't really like when I would be really, really angry, or at least if I was if that was my national team player, I'd be very upset to hear that um, there's any talks, excuse me, any talks about being held with my clients or with my not or with the client of an agent during during your international runs. It's when you're speaking on club talk. That's a little bit. I don't know. I think that usually when you go away for these kinds of these events or these kinds of fixtures, you want to have yourself focused on your national team. You don't want to be in a place where you're thinking about contracts and you're worried about whether it's
No,
over the
not at all.
line. Go ahead. You're saying something.
No, I was just sorry. I was just agreeing with you as you were going. I said, yeah, no, not at all. You don't want just concentrate on. You want these
Yeah.
boys concentrating. I missed the
Hmm.
I missed a bit at the start because I went on. I don't know, something happened to my sound. Who are we talking about?
Oh, this is about Diaz's representatives. Apparently,
Oh, it's about
there's
Diaz. Oh,
there's an
what's it?
emissary from a Spanish club. Now, whether I don't believe that Barcelona have the funds to pay for it. Just my personal opinion, but I mean, I don't think that they have the funds to pay for um, to meet or match. excuse me, to match the price that Liverpool have set on set for Diaz. Let's be honest, like as I know that people do have their own evaluations. I know that there are those amongst the fan base that do their part in uh, devaluing the market value of our Diaz, of our Lucho. But um, Liverpool, the club, has certainly put a high price tag on the and even if you do go to like your transfer markets and such, even he on transfer market, for instance, is still a high priced. Actually, it is our highest priced commodity for this club. Actually, is Diaz. He's the highest priced commodity that we have on our club, and that's with. I get it. People then say, "Oh, well, what
Yeah,
about Mo Salah and what about Virgil van Dijk?" I get that. Yes, they all have high value,
no,
certainly, but because of their contracts, because of their age, it differs in that's how they've come up to their price. Good,
yeah.
Irishman,
I
you wanted to
wouldn't.
say something.
I still wouldn't have him as I would say if we were actually because yeah no look they're working on their own systems and they're a very conservative valuer, so they value people at the lower end. But if the
Mm,
players are actually to go to market, I'd have to say I
mm,
reckon the McAllister we would be the highest, or like if we were to sell our players, we would achieve the highest price for a McAllister. Um, then I think even after the season that he's had, a Sabazlai would easily be worth as much as Diaz, especially
mm.
considering his age. So yeah, I'd have him probably the third most valuable player. I reckon if we were just not to want to sell all our players, but if we just sold all our players, I think the one that we would probably get the most money for
Hmm.
would be McAllister. I think he's the 80, 85, and I'd probably be looking at 70 for Diaz, I reckon. But they do go
Hmm.
conservative. They definitely do. They definitely do.
Hmm.
But like
Hmm.
even at that, like Barca, unless they sell, who could they say? They have somebody that they could sell that we're forgetting about. But unless they do 40, 50 million pound in sales, yeah, they're not going to be able to talk to us about Diaz.
Right, exactly. Shooting, exactly. And that's why, you know, uh, if if Diaz is going to get a move, excuse me, if Diaz is going to get a move, I'm certain that I'm not, obviously, I don't represent him. So, despite what people might think, um, uh, I would think that, if you speak on Barcelona and that's your destination that you want to go to, you're not going to settle for, you're not going to settle for another club. It just to get in, just to go to Spain. You're not going to settle for another club. It's going to be, if you have your sights set on Barcelona, you'll figure out a way to get to Barcelona, most likely. I think that's what his plans are, if it is that he wants to go to Barcelona. So, and then there was also, let's see, Manchester United have have made an opening offer for Brainworth, Brandworth, excuse me, Brandwaite, and that didn't work out. Apparently, they got rejected. Um, but speaking of center backs for our likes, the center backs that we have been looking at are certainly starting to raise an eyebrow, I think. We do have Kanate, who was unavailable. Now, he was unavailable because of, I believe, illness. It wasn't because of, I
Apparently
think that
so,
was
yeah.
the case. It was because of illness, right?
Apparently, yeah, that's what someone was saying.
Yeah.
But he was on the
He
bench, but
was
I
on,
know they never MVP. But
right, right. And, but again, Kanate not being available, not exactly another thing that something that people aren't used to seeing, unfortunately for Ibu. So there have been some uh, heightened stories or heightened reports about that we are not only going to get possibly one center back, but we're possibly going to get two center backs in this summer transfer window. Um, I've actually been saying that for a while now. I think that I've started to migrate more towards the two center backs. I was talking about how I would love to see us get Euro. Um, I'm not saying he's the end all be all in us, being being successful next year. But um, do you think, real quick? Do you think, and this is a question to the chat too? Do you think it says something about Kwanzaa and what they believe, where and how and where they think Kwanzaa will fit into this club going forward, if we are going to be looking at bringing in two center backs? And is that determined upon um, whether we go for two young center backs for the future, or if we go for two center backs for the two you know established center backs?
well, I with Kwanzaa in the team, I can't see us buying two 20-year-olds. I
Mm-hmm.
really that wouldn't make any sense to me at all. Even see this is the thing. You see, no one really expected Kwanzaa to step up and into this role. So do you say, okay, it was a necessary thing that happened last season, so now we put him back on track for his original intended development path, where he
Mm-hmm.
starts to come into the team at around 22, 23? Do we put him back where he was, or do we look at it and go, no, he's sort of skipped a step, skipped a class, and he's
Mhm.
already at that level now. That really is one for the manager. I don't really, he is the perfect sort of, if you're playing with two at the back, you have Van Dijk and somebody, and then your next two are Kwanzaa and somebody. I think that needs to
Right.
be
Right.
that needs to be the lowest he drops back down. He needs to be in, if it is a four, he needs to be in that four. So
Mhm.
at the
Mhm.
moment, we have three of those guys, and a lot of people, some of us would like to replace Kanate.
Mhm.
That would mean to bring in another guy, it really wouldn't make any sense to me. It would make sense to me to bring in a guy around 24, 25, and then bring in a Lenny Yaro at 18, and then have
Mhm.
new guy plus Van Dyke plus Yaro and Kwanzaa, and then you
Mhm.
can move on Ibu. That's what I'd
Mhm.
do in a perfect world. But
Mhm.
whether we get that or not, but Kwanzaa, I think for me, what do you do? Like I said, do you say, yeah, right, no, you now have to go back to the fourth grade, as it were? Like I know, yeah, do you know what I mean? It's like you weren't supposed to be here. We know you kind of knocked it out of the park, but we're going to still put you back. And I think he's kind of past that hurdle now. So the manager has a really, really big call on, yeah, how much, yeah, so basically, is he a number one or a number two? Sorry, I don't, a
Mhm.
starter or a backup. And because he's
Mhm.
shown, like we were talking about Ibu last night, when you look back at what was maybe 3 games, Ibu was fit and he was still picking Kwanzaa. He
Yeah,
just
he
dropped
was.
Ibu. He
He
just
was.
straight dropped him.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Kwanzaa was in. There was no niggling injuries. There was none of that stuff. It was just like, nah, Ibu, I don't give a shit if you're back fit. The lad's starting.
Right. Right.
So that's the level he
Right.
got to.
Mhm.
I don't know what the
Yeah. And,
chat think on it. 'Cause I think he's got to be
oh yeah.
sort of
No, I have. Yeah,
third
Bernie
choice.
brought up a good point. Daryl's saying. Daryl's saying I don't think you put McAllister in as captain. Daryl, that's a little bit. That's a little bit ambitious.
Wait,
A little
I
bit.
think VVD is
McAllister is
off.
certainly a valued player and certainly an important player. And I know that he has played captain for Brighton, but to hop over, you're basically then assuming, I guess, like he's going to become captain over Trent. You would then be saying that he's going to become, all the different little. He's going to become captain before Robbo. You're saying he's going to become captain. Obviously, that before Salah. That's a little bit adventurous, I think. But McAllister is certainly a, a a viable uh, leader, just in his own right. But yeah, Bernie
Well,
is
like
saying, what's that?
no, like I said a couple of weeks ago, I was saying that I wasn't predicting anything. I wasn't saying such and such was going to happen, but in the sort of list of things not to be surprised about if they do happen would be
Mm-hmm.
VVD leaving this summer.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying I
Mm-hmm.
thought it happened, should happen, anything. Just one of those things. It's just like if he did leave this summer, it won't surprise me. I won't, and I won't like it. It'll be a bit of a shock, but I have that thing in the back of my mind that where he might just see it as whatever, a time to do something else, or again, just because of the contract. So, Daryl thinks he's
Mm-hmm.
probably guaranteed to leave. Um, Bernie's mentioned him maybe going to Saudi Arabia. I don't know, but
Mm-hmm.
again, just like I said, just one of those things. Definitely, I'm not going to be, you know, blown away by it if it does, because I could just, in the back of my mind, I could just kind of see it there, like as a potential one that would happen. And then, yeah, what does happen? Does Trent go
Yeah.
straight to captain? Does Trent get handed, or does, and you get a new vice captain, or do you say again, oh well, we weren't planning on making you captain this early, but again, it's a new manager whose job it is to do that, and he's going to be the guy coming in again, I'm sure some people are going to love the idea of this, but Arne Slot deciding who Liverpool captain is, that's going to go down like a lead balloon, I know, but he's going to be the man coming in and making a call on that. If VVD did leave,
Mm-hmm.
he's going to be the guy saying,
Mm-hmm.
also, you're going to be sitting down at that conversation with Trent. Uh, the main conversation isn't about whether he's going to be captain or not. The main conversation is the fact he's only got a year left on his contract. So that needs to be sorted. There's a there's Please, if a couple of people decided to
Yeah.
up six and do
Yeah.
something else, we could have a really big summer on our hands. A really big summer.
Yeah. 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 There could be I think that from all the tenets of our foundation being a little bit rocked, considering not many of us were expecting Klopp to leave, but when we did, we centered around understanding that it was going to happen, and at least if it was going to happen, he was leaving us with a pretty solidified club, team where we've seen um, some incredible youth academy players step up and show some real merit behind their game. And then we also saw the fact that or we've seen it over the long spell that we've had them, some real coveted players be able to step up and be leaders, or step up and be important players on this club. So we did have a retooled midfield. We had a front line that has definitely it's somewhat sputtered towards the end of the season, but certainly was an important part of our club. And then a back line that, albeit, um, has certainly taken a little bit of a knock by Matip's injury, and then because he was that veteran presence, and then Kanate's uncertainty of availability, and then obviously us bringing in Kwanzaa, who ended up being a phenomenal player for us, and I think someone that we all look forward to seeing go forward. But if we were to lose VVD, that would be a real shakeup. Especially if we're to lose, like, hypothetically, if we're to lose BBD and Salah, for instance, then that could be a real shakeup in bringing in obviously some real good money, but you know, certain players are very difficult to replace. Finding another talisman in the middle will be very difficult. But don't underestimate Trent. I don't think Trent is as replaceable as Daryl is saying. I think Trent is. Any player can be replaced, I guess. In
Yeah,
one way or
nobody's
another. But
irreplaceable. The club always moves on.
right,
The club will always move on.
right.
Players don't live
But
forever. They don't play forever. So we replace
yeah,
them.
in my
We,
humble opinion, I think Trent is
yeah,
very, very high on that list of being important. You don't get very generational talents like that often, you know. And then especially if they
I'd love to
are,
see all this messing around stop. To be honest, I don't want to sound like an old man, but I'd love to see all this messing around stop and just put him in a position where he can proven he can do incredible damage and work, and just
oh,
all this
okay, you don't want
midfield
to see you want to see
experimentation.
the experiments to end.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
just yeah, just focus in on where we want to play, where we want to see play, and keep it
Well,
at that.
it's not even an experiment anymore. This like they've been doing it for so long now. I just don't really. I don't. No one can convince me that we've seen a better Trent or a better Liverpool since he's gone into midfield. I
Hmm.
Because demonstrably, I don't think we have. Maybe he likes it more and he feels more appreciated, but that's not really the game. The game is winning trophies. So I just see that we've gained, I don't know, whatever tactical ability to do things, but we've lost the best things that he used to bring to the club. And we saw he
Hmm.
kind of, he kind of got a little bit of a knock later, and obviously the family situation, but we saw when Connor Bradley came in just how good we could be with an attacking right back. We'd forgotten what it was like just to have a right back that just went down the wing, crossed, got involved, just like Trent used to do in that area, and that kind of brought the team alive again for a short while. I know. Look, if Trent wants to play midfield, then cool. We're not going to
It
see him at
did.
right back again, but
Like, I was gonna say you're right though. I mean, like, he has been a player that uh, we've come to become adjusted to seeing bombing down the wings, or even now that he has come more central and being more of like that um, quarterback for us, for lack of a better word, being able to pin passes from left to right. What we don't want to do is certainly put them onto a new venture and say, hey, we now want you to figure out how to uh, be this now, be just a midfielder, or be just this, that, or, like, as in, let's just allow for him to do what he's good at, and that is, like, playing the positions that we've seen him excel at. That's what I agree with you on
and
that.
one
I
other
definitely
thing
agree.
as well. I'd love to have someone in midfield who's really good at it. It would allow us to just bring in someone, and
Mm,
I don't know, maybe it's not that way tactically, but I don't really. Yeah, well, I like I said, show me the evidence that says we've gotten better, and maybe he feels he's playing better, but not more productive. Not in terms of goals and assists,
mhm,
definitely not.
mhm,
And again, like we've spoken about it, he's not. And I've seen loads of pros, ex-pros, pundits talking about this, that you give him space and time to pass and a pitch in front of him, yeah, he'll look like a quarterback, pinging balls 60, 70 yards. But that's not midfield play. Like, it's about getting closed down
right.
by opposition players,
Right.
having to play quick one touch
Right.
football to get out of tight spaces. That's not Trent's game. Never has been,
Yep.
and plus you need that little bit of
Yep.
defensive nous to be switched on, real super concentration. They'll all tell you at midfield it's the hardest place to play in the
Mhm,
game because you've got it coming at you from all sides. If you're in the middle, you've got the game in front of you, you've got the game behind you, you've got the game to the left of you, and you've got the game to the right of you. If you play at right back, you have the game
mhm,
in front of you and to the left of you.
mhm.
There's no game to the right of you. There's no game in behind you. So you'll have a big wedge to look at. That's a completely, you don't have to worry what's on your right hand side because
Right.
it's the touchline. There's no one in behind you because you're defined, so you
Mhm,
can play into that space. When you're in midfield, like I just said, it's all points of the compass you have to be thinking about. That's a totally different skill set, and it's not in the feet.
mhm.
It's in the first up, but it's in the brain, and that's why Trent is what he is. I just don't know this obsession with turning him into something that I honestly don't know what he's going to turn. Like, what are we?
That he's not. Yeah.
Is he supposed to become Pirlo, or is he supposed to become Busquets? Is he supposed to become? He'll say he's supposed to become Trent, but I mean, is he supposed to be a De
Mhm,
Bruyne? He probably thinks of himself as a De Bruyne, actually. Now that I think, like, a deeper
mhm,
line De Bruyne, that's probably what he thinks of himself. But I know the game
mhm.
has moved on and tactics have moved on, but him and Robbo going down the wing, that's like Bayer Leverkusen won everything last season. Well, not everything, but nearly everything. Playing with wing backs, playing with two guys, getting up and down, and creating Grimaldo and Frimpong. So why can't Trent be Frimpong? Just be Frimpong for a while, because you'd be really good at being Frimpong, because you kind of invented it. It's you're the best
Yeah.
in the world at that.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah. I
world,
get
you're the
that.
best at it. Like, so, but anyway,
Yeah.
far be it from me to tell Trent Alexander-Arnold what to do. Far be it from me.
Yeah. 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 Far be it from any of us. Right. Yeah. That's an interesting comment on the phone. um, let me put this comment in here for us. Yeah, unfortunately, I saw that we were talking about Jude yesterday about how Jude went and was aggressive and went forward and got that header goal for the end up resulting in the 1-0 win for England yesterday. But it was a courageous header that he went in. We spoke about how that could have been some issues or problems if he had mistimed it or if the defender got a little bit tricky with him. But yeah. One of his future teammates, Kylian Mbappe, has actually ended up. He won't need surgery, but he has broken his nose. He did end up
No,
breaking
he
his
went.
nose against Austria, by the way.
Yeah, he rearranged his face there. He moved things around a little bit,
Yeah,
But
a little
it's
bit,
a
a
hell of a
little
whack.
bit. Yeah,
Looks like he's going to miss a few group games. A couple of groups. Well, there's
yeah,
only 2 left.
yeah.
But they're saying that's him now for the not for the tournament, but he won't play against Holland, and he won't play against. Who did
Right.
they play against? Who did Holland play against? Whoever the other team is in their group, smaller team, Slovakia or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mayao is certainly an issue, man. He's got some pace, but he just got a yellow card for diving. By the way, not good.
not a player
Trying to
I've
get
ever
a
really
call.
been. Yeah, not a player I've ever been overly convinced by. I've seen him play a few times, obviously not a lot, but I've seen
Mm-hmm.
him play a few times for AC. And when he's good, he looks good, but looks like
Mm-hmm.
he needs a space to run into. He needs time. Yeah, he an old fashioned flair player. I think definitely. I like watching him, but I'm not sure how much of a systems player he would be. He seems like a bit of a like these guys always look really good in international football because it's
Mm-hmm.
very much a case of like set up solid and let your good players do what they're good at. But yeah, I can imagine him being like £90 million and then a year later it's like, yeah, we need to get rid of this guy. So yeah, he doesn't convince me completely. There's just something about him. That
Yeah,
even
yeah.
true, no, that is true.
This has no impact on you.
Uh, no, it
That's tongue in
should. It
cheek,
should.
obviously.
It's yeah, again, it's just a few times I've seen him and I've seen him do stuff, and you're like, wow, that guy is good. Like he clearly is on his day. Up against maybe
Mm-hmm.
it's because that's the thing. You'd be the team spending the big bucks to bring him to England to find out, and he would cost a
If
lot.
he
So he's one
can,
of
if
those
he,
real,
yeah, how good he is.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's a real like we
but
talk about him all being gambles, but he's a proper gamble. That kid. If you put down 90 for him, that kind of money,
mm-hmm.
that needs to work out. And yeah, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure it would. I'm not sure it would.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I love watching him. Definitely, I do. I love watching him. And like I say, in international tournaments. But say under a manager like
Yeah.
Guardiola or something, I know he's got Doku. People are going to throw Doku at me, but just wait and see what he does to him. Like he'll be playing 5 yard passes 1,000 times a game in 2 years' time.
Mm-hmm.
He won't
Mm-hmm.
have dribbled past anybody in 6 years. It'll be like the Grealish scenario. But
Mm-hmm.
again, I like they didn't even like that Portugal bench. If you look at that, that's about wow. There's about 300 million quid's worth of footballers there at least. Some of those
Mm-hmm.
guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty impressive, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's still 0-0. I think, isn't it?
It is still 0-0. It's the 42nd minute. Portugal has been definitely the more offensive-minded team in this game.
Oh,
There's
last
about
time I
this.
looked, they had 70% possession.
Yeah, they're really, really bringing it to them. Czechoslovakia is
Yeah.
trying to figure something out on anything of a counter that they can, but they're playing their butts off on defense.
Well, if
there's
they're playing on the counter, I'd keep an eye out for Patrick Schick. He's good for them. I wouldn't be surprised if he popped up with something. But yeah, I need something because I made the bold decision of switching my captain from someone who scored a goal to Bruno Fernandes. So I need Bruno to come up trumps there tonight because I had my captain on Havertz and he was on 18, so I've taken it off him. So he's gone now down to 9, and it's gone on to Bruno. So Bruno needs to
get a big performance.
He needs to step up. Yeah, I was hoping for something.
He has been playing very well for it. He has been playing very, very well for them.
The Czechs are a good team. Czechs are a good side. I'm not expecting them to trash them, but the Czechs are not one of the worst teams in this by any stretch. They're a good solid outfit. I've been impressed. By most of the teams, just in terms of kind of there's no one awful. Like there's no one that's like, oh God, oh no, I feel bad for these guys. They're going to get bet 7. They're going to get thrashed in every game. There's no one like that. There's a really kind of good quality level. Like even today with Georgia, they've got Kvaratskhelia, they've got a couple of other guys. Even these smaller nations have one or two really, really good.
They have some real standout players. Almost every team in this tournament has one or two standout players that could utilize this tournament to make a real breakout for them.
Turkey again, Turkey, it's not the guy was no secret, but I'm sure to a lot of people who are more casual football fans, that's the first time they'll ever have heard of Arda Güler is today. I guarantee you that for the more casual guy, they'll be like, "Who's
more casual?"
Oh, they're like, oh, it's the latest wonder kid from Real Madrid. Oh, right, okay, never heard him. Well, he's that guy that scored that amazing goal. Okay, cool. Now they know who he is because that is going to be on the highlights replay. It's going to be on all the cutaways. It's going to be on all the edits now or shows, throughout the tournament. When they're cutting between things and they're showing bits and pieces of the tournament, that's going to be one of the things they keep showing is that goal. That's going to be one of the iconic goals. It's going to be on all the little clips and all the little highlight reels in between shows. And it's going to be him because he plays for Real Madrid. He's a wonder kid. It's an unbelievable goal. It's made for TV. Absolutely made for TV. So his name, if he does, all he has to do is have a decent tournament now and do one or two more good things, and he'll be one of the stars of it. But I don't think he's capable of not doing things. He didn't have the greatest game. Let's not put it. There were other players were playing just as well. He did well in it, but he wasn't running the show, or he wasn't like the He had his moments, but then
he had his moments, and his moments were important that he was able to step up and do what he needed to do.
Like you could see how everything goes through Çalhanoğlu, the guy who left AC Milan to win trophies at Inter Milan, and won trophies at Inter Milan instead of not winning trophies at AC Milan, which turns to me sounds like a sound decision. But everything goes through him. Yeah, sorry, Marianne, I'm only joking, but everything goes through him, and he's very good on the ball,
right?
And they have that bit of quality there. But the first goal from the right back, Boulder, something like that, Boulder.
Yeah.
What a goal that was. Volley first time. If he hits a better one than that in his career, send it to me. I want to see it. So in a Euros like that. Good.
0-0 at halftime. It's 0-0 at halftime of the Portugal Czech game. They're gonna have to bring something. You know, the emphasis is being, or the spotlight is definitely being shining a little bit brighter on Ronaldo, and also even like you said on Bruno a little bit too, to make some happen. Um,
Yeah,
there
Ronaldo
was
is really
something
just a poacher now, isn't he? He's
he pretty much is. I
yeah,
think
he's just a
that's why I
bloody
was like,
body
I
poacher.
understand that you don't start Diego, but to be honest with you, I think I would have preferred to have started Diego than start Ronaldo. I get that sounds crazy, but if
It
you
doesn't
start
sound crazy to me. It doesn't
right,
sound crazy to me. But you try telling Ronaldo that, I imagine is probably the issue.
right, right.
I'd
There's a reason. I
imagine
mean,
it's
yeah,
Bobby Martinez, isn't it? Bobby
it
Martinez
is.
is their manager, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Bobby
How and
Martinez?
once again,
He's
that shows you again of
yeah.
how some of these coaches, how they can get their gigs are is incredible because he's someone
This is
that
something I want to talk about.
yeah.
This is something I want to talk about, but in a different way, because the term, I know people will know in the chat. The term is failing upwards.
Mhm.
So you do badly at one job and you somehow get a better job, and it's
Better
something
job,
that's
yeah.
it's very kind of football related at the moment. And yeah, there are like Frank Lampard and people like that. There's so there's been a bit of chat about it, and Bobby Martinez does come up a lot, and he
He
kind of
does.
did okay.
He should come up.
He should come up, but maybe not as strongly as he does come up, because he got them to like, yeah, I get it, I get why he does come up, but there was another list I saw that someone did that they were going off on one about this. Oh, they were giving out exactly what people. Oh, how are these guys? They do really badly, and so he put in his list of like 5 managers that fail, like they were always failing upwards, right?
Yeah.
And he put in
Hmm,
one of
hmm.
his 5. He put in was Sven Goran Eriksson, and I am absolutely not having that. There's no way Sven failed up. Like
What did he
I
give
don't.
as his reasoning?
He didn't.
Just
This is
one.
the thing. He just like,
Oh,
oh,
just
I'm sick of all
he just
these
gave a list
managers.
and that's it.
Yeah, he just kind of
Yeah.
ranted about it happening, and then he was like, yeah, it's
Mm,
typical, and like here is my 5, and like there was someone else really dumb in it as well. Someone was just like a good manager, but I was like,
mm.
Sven, like is a genuinely good football manager. He's done really good work wherever he went.
Wherever he's
But
gone. Yeah.
yeah, look at what he did at Lazio. He's a highly revered coach in Italy. He's seen as
Hmm.
yeah, he's like highly regarded, and obviously he's passed. So I'm not going to speak bad about the man. But even if he was still here, I would say that was absolute nonsense. Um,
Hmm, hmm.
but you do have like because there's so many easier people like yeah, the likes of Lampard and all that. But someone like Martinez for an international job, it's you only need a light hand at the tiller, if you know what I'm saying.
Hmm,
You don't need someone.
hmm.
You just need someone that can. But to me, he just looks like the kind of guy that's going to. He's not really going to challenge Ronaldo. I don't think he has the kind of
Mm. No,
that
no.
in him to go toe to toe with Ronaldo. He's just going to go, yeah, cool. I'll go with what he wants to keep him happy, and then get everything else together. He seems more like
Yeah.
a happy vibes Bobby Martinez. Oh yeah, cool, Ronnie. Yeah, you fit to start. Cool, of course you are. You're the main man. Always were, Ronnie. Always will be. You're the main man. He's like, I can't wait till this guy retires. Then I can build a proper team.
Hmm, hmm. Yeah. They're just showing some of the highlights from the first half. You almost got your Bruno. I think the Ronaldo attempt would have been offsides, but uh, Bruno almost got an assist. Leao almost got a goal. Ronaldo almost got at least a good opportunity to get a goal. I'm not saying no if he was on side or not, but again, 0-0 is the score in the halftime, and also I wouldn't mind having an episode on that. To be honest with you, failing upwards, we can call it. Um,
We can use that. Well, I'm sure we can. It's been used enough times that we can use that funny clip of Joe Biden falling up the stairs in the
Falling up,
airplane.
yeah, trying to walk up the steps. to Air
Very,
Force One.
very difficult thing to do. Fall up the stairs.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's very difficult thing to do, and he does it very, very well. You can't fake that. You
yes, sir.
cannot fake that. But
You can't.
that's crap. But anyway, yeah,
Yeah,
you can see football is kind of littered with these guys, but at the same time, there's not that many
mhm,
managers out there sometimes either. Like people who own clubs, it definitely is changing now, and clubs are becoming a lot more. What's the word? Open mind. I was going to say adventurous, but I'd say open minded,
mhm,
or um, I don't want to say it's a modern thing or anything like that. But just in terms of, yeah, I don't care if you're freaking Luis Figo and you've got your coaching badges. I don't care if you're, 3-time Ballon d'Or winner. Like,
mhm.
there's a guy here who is guaranteed, like, definitely 100% better than you as a manager or a coach. So he's going to get the job. Not
Right.
as a man, but as a coach, this stuff needs to. That's fine. Like Luis Figo and these guys should get jobs where all these other guys have to get jobs and prove themselves. I'm not saying Figo is trying to be a manager. I don't think he is, but whoever they may be, the Lampards and all of that. And hopefully, I think it's taken a little bit of. I think it's some fans. I think you can see the reaction out there. Some fans still think that the bigger clubs should be going for the big time, big name managers, but as we've discussed to death, there aren't any out there other than Ancelotti, Klopp, and
Mhm,
Guardiola. Everybody out there is basically a
mhm.
young, up and coming coach type. So where do we, where do we get this overcoat manager?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
classic
yeah.
football manager. So hopefully fans now again Brighton are doing it at the extreme end as per usual. They've just appointed a guy who was born after the Premier League started as their manager. So okay, I don't see us doing that. Um, 31 years old, I think he is. So, but that just shows you that's probably the
Mhm,
sharp end of the wedge, as they say. That's Nagelsmann is 33, I think 34, something like that.
mhm.
So there is a shift, and
Yeah,
that's the guys that we're hiring aren't going to have. I mean, even a Deserby, I think, would have had pedigree compared to because people say, "Oh, what's he doing? What's he doing?" Well, say, "Well, this guy, at least you've seen him in the Premier League. At least you can say that's what he plays. That's you know."
yeah,
But
yeah,
even
yeah.
him, he's sort of
I
at
thought it
the
was funny.
higher end of experience.
Yeah. Speaking of German coaches, because it this next act by a Dutch coach reminded me of a German coach. He spoke of Nagelsmann, and I don't know what it is about. This might be a little bit of the funnier portion of this show, but I don't know what it is about coaches that don't realize that or don't think or realize the fact that chances are there is some camera on them while they sit on the bench. And albeit I get it, you might be congested or you might have a runny nose or you might have a congested nose, but what is it with coaches and picking their noses and eating their boogers? I'm
Oh,
sorry.
don't say that.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
don't say that out loud. Oh no, that should have come with a
I'm
trigger. Don't. That's
sorry. Strike that from the word. Eating something that
no.
they
Just
find
don't
wrong.
even. No, not
I don't
even. We don't even mention. It's the eating bit. It's the. Oh, jeez.
sorry. Sorry, people.
Oh, dude. I mean,
I know, but it's just something
now
that it was in my notes. It's in my notes for like things that I
it
wanted
was in
to
your
bring up
nose or in your
because
notes.
it's in my notes, not in my
Oh, it's
notes.
in your.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right. Okay, yeah. Oh God,
Because
please, please.
Ronald Koeman.
How do we mind cleanse? How do we mind cleanse? Someone must know a
That's just
technique
funny.
where you
Dude, he was so
instantly
bad
wipe
with
your
it
mind.
though.
Has anybody got
That's
one of
because
those
like
Men in Black sticks where I can wipe my memory and
basically.
forget I heard that?
Oh man, I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna be able to eat or sit down for a week.
Yeah, I know. It was pretty bad, man. It was pretty bad. Because he just kept on going with it. And I was like, okay, good luck finding whatever you're looking for. But then when he,
Okay, we don't need a running commentary. We can guess what happened. Some of us are
yeah,
traumatized right now.
it was,
Some of us are
I'm
traumatized right now.
sorry. I'm sorry about
Barney,
that, Bernie.
Barney, I'm
Just eating
sorry. Barney, I'm so sorry. I
he was apparently
had
eating
no
his
idea this was
dinner.
coming. Oh
He
God.
apparently didn't have his dinner, so I
Oh
don't know.
Jesus.
Maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's the reason.
Someone pull the
Oh man.
emergency cord.
All right. Well, here's something to get your minds off of it, I guess. Then. Um.
Nothing. No. Can we have some
I
white
know. I
noise
know. I
or
know.
something?
We need to make you start thinking. See if you can start thinking about it. I have a trivia. Here's a makeshift trivia question
Yeah.
that came up with.
Oh.
In this tournament, we have been introduced to the youngest captain for a national team to ever take the pitch. Can you name the player? Can you name the captain or player that was captain? Doesn't necessarily mean that he was captain when he was on the he didn't. Doesn't mean that he was captain when he led the team out, but it means he was captain when he was on the pitch. Can you name the youngest captain ever in the Euros? It's a big question, I know, but
So
this guy
obviously,
probably trying to think
obviously,
of captains.
somebody went off. Somebody went off and
Yeah.
gave the armband to somebody. Is what you're
Mm-hmm.
saying?
No, I said that as in that could have been the case.
Oh yeah, well
too.
you're not. Oh well, I think two people have put it in the chat
Yeah.
there. I don't remember a commentator making a big deal.
Yeah.
Did they get it?
They got it already. Yep.
Oh, they got it already. Okay, well there you go.
Dominic
Yeah, see, it
Szoboszlai
shows
is
you.
the
That's what
youngest
I'm talking about.
youngest player to ever captain a national team in the Euros. He is the youngest player to ever captain a national team. It's pretty impressive. Very impressive.
But this,
And big up to Dominic.
I think we kind of forget because of how kind of mature and composed he is. He really doesn't seem like a young player, but he most definitely is a young player.
Yeah. Yep.
He has a kind of air of a 26-year-old type of player. He doesn't look like his age at all. Like he looks young. I'm not saying that, but just the way he carries himself, it's strange actually. Yeah, that he just doesn't look like a kid. And there's kids the same age as him that look about 6 years younger than him on the pitch. He's just one of those guys. He just has that air about him. I would never pick that because just because of that, I just don't. You just don't picture him as a young player.
There was a question for you too.
I hear there's a few jobs going. Yeah, I hear there's a few jobs going. I might be interested.
Paying bills for the players, driving them, basically being their Alfred to their Batman, basically.
That's going to be a very, very popular job. But he also posted in a second question, and this is something that might be a bit off topic, but he says, I get it. Some of the players I don't trust to tie their shoelaces. You need a concierge or fixer, as Brian said. I can't tie other people's shoes. I can't tie other people's shoes. I don't know. Can you? I can't. I can't tie other people's shoes. I don't like.
I have
everyone
had
do that. I can't.
I'm the eldest. I've been the eldest. I was the eldest child, so I've had to tie my younger brother, younger sister's shoelaces more than once in my life.
Yeah, man. If someone else asks me to, obviously it's not something that happens very often. It's not like a daily occurrence. But if someone asks me to, for some reason, for whatever reason, someone asked me to tie their shoelaces. I'm trying to imagine a scenario, but let's just say out of football, I'd be like, you're better off asking someone else. Like, because it took me a
Yeah.
long time to learn. It did. It took me a really long time to learn because I'm the opposite. I am not the oldest. I'm the youngest. Probably got something to do with it. I was really bad at it, and yeah, to me, it's like hieroglyphics or something. It's just I don't know what to do. Left hand, right hand, either way. Just wondering. That probably, yeah, it probably, if you can do it or not, probably tells you how whether you had older or younger siblings.
Yeah. I don't know. This is a question too. This is from Bernie. Question: Has anyone noticed manager clones? Klopp had one. Ten Hag had one. Pep has had one. Um, I can understand that they would possibly
How do you
do
mean?
that. I know a lot of different important people in the world have their clones, I guess you could say, or their lookalikes,
What do you mean?
the
What do you mean
doppelgangers.
clones? Has
Meaning like
anyone
as
know?
in someone that looks like them, but like
Oh,
they'll be like a decoy. They're decoys basically.
wait, what? Like
Yeah, like they're
they go out
decoys.
pretending to be Klopp.
They will, yeah, sometimes. So like I know, like for instance, there would be like I saw something on like Michael Jackson had one. Um, like he would like you would be able to send them out, and the clone would go one, like the not the clone, but like the decoy would go one way, and then the crowd would think, oh, there's Michael Jackson, and they would all like try to like go towards the decoy, and then Michael Jackson would then have the opportunity to actually get in the car and leave for home, kind of deal, rather than have like a a group of rabid fans waiting for you and not allowing for you to ever leave. I've never seen them on the
Okay,
bench.
yeah.
I've never seen them on the
I
bench. That's a different
I
story.
think Bernie, do you mean like look? Yeah, she means doppelgangers. She means lookalikes. Yeah, I suppose what she's saying is Pep Linders looks a bit like Klopp. Um, Maresca looks like Pep, and who's Ten Hag? Ten Hag obviously has like a baldy guy as an
Mm-hmm.
assistant.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what she's saying. But who's Klopp's
Mm-hmm.
doppelganger on our bench? Is it your man Kravich? Is it that guy?
I got you. I got you.
Is he's the guy with the glasses? He is it Kravich? It can't be Pep. It's not Pep. Not Pep Linders. I mean, but
Uh,
and then Pep had your man Maresca that went to Leicester. He kind of looks like Pep Guardiola because it's
mm-hmm.
definitely not Arteta. I mean, the whole hair thing that rules that out. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know who Ten Hag's doppelganger is. Like, is there an Eric 8 Hag somewhere or something? Is this like, Eric 7 Hag
Mm-hmm.
2.0?
Yeah, yeah. I'll take a look next time. I will definitely take a look. I'll definitely take a look for Eric 11 Hog. Mark Simmons asks, Mark
Oh, I don't
Simon,
know.
excuse me. Simons asks, did Diego have a spat with Ronaldo, and that's why he's on the bench? Or why he is benched? Because he would have had a hat trick by now with all the chances, and Ronaldo has been atrocious as usual. I don't think he had a spat with Ronaldo. I just think that it's Ronaldo, and again, we kind of broached the subject about this coach being someone that we don't necessarily see going toe to toe with telling Ronaldo, hey, you need to find bench, and go with that. I don't think that you're going to see that with this coach. It used to be oh, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, that's Kravich.
You're talking about the I think he's the what was his role with the team? He's an assistant coach, but he's like the guy that comes out. You're talking about the guy that comes out and kind of like warms up the team, basically. That sends them through like the warm up sprints and such that you're talking about. He kind of looks like Jurgen, like a young Jurgen, probably.
Well, he's the guy that wore the black glasses that Jurgen used to wear. Well, similar to him
Yeah,
too. I thought it was Kravich, that guy,
yeah.
the coach Kravich,
Mhm.
but Helior is saying there it's Andreas Kornmeier. He's the more on the fitness side of things, so he would
Yeah,
probably be
yeah, that's what I'm
more
talking
like
about.
that guy that brings him out on the warm up. So, but I'm just trying to, yeah, Ten Hag has
Yeah,
one as, yeah. So I knew what you were getting at, Bernie. I knew what you were getting at.
I'm sorry, Bernie. I thought you're talking about like actually having actual clone, as in like where someone that looks like them, so that they can do their, they can go about and do their work,
Yeah,
or do their stuff out and about, and have people like,
go
rather than
take a
have people
bullet.
be like, oh, mob them. Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. You
Mob
go
them and
take a
find out
bullet.
things.
Yeah, you shot.
Yeah,
Yeah, you shot the
yeah,
fake.
yeah.
You shot the fake Michael Jackson. Well done.
Yeah, yeah, or like, yeah. I mean, like Gaddafi had that. He had
Oh yeah,
doppelgangers.
he went. He went so far as to, yeah. He used to basically force these guys to get like people who kind of looked like him already, and he like forced them to have
Yeah,
plastic surgery
forced them
to make
into,
them look.
yeah.
Yeah, they'd have to get shit like, and people are like, yeah, they lived like him, but they were base. Yeah, that's a crazy story. Anyway,
That's a crazy
um,
story. Yeah.
but if you want even quickly, more quickly, just quick music. Side note that back in the day, when you only had kind of small town. In America, you had like radio. You didn't have TV. You didn't have internet. You didn't have all this stuff. So Little Richard blew up big
Oh
time
yeah,
in the
yeah.
South Coast,
There you go.
and he went off on. He had a tour booked for a load of these small gigs from north to south, like 2,000, 3,000 seater venues. And before his tour started, he had a number one hit or a number two hit. And all of a sudden, all
Hmm.
these big venues wanted him. So all the big venues wanted him at the same time. So his promoter, instead of canceling the small gigs and taking the big gigs and having to pay off the other guys, basically sent a fake Little Richard because nobody knew what he looked like. So they
Hmm.
got basically a Little Richard and a sound alike to play all the 3,000
Hmm.
seater gigs up and down the East Coast. And Little Richard went off and played all these bigger concerts.
Hmm.
And the guy that was
And that,
pretending to be Little
and that,
Richard,
yeah.
yeah, but the guy that was pretending to be Little Richard was James Brown.
Yep. Okay, I see what you're saying. Oh, by the way, I do see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying. Bernie. Let me see. Get this up here for you. I do see what you're saying, as in lookalikes on the bench. He does look like him somewhat.
Yeah, a lot of eggheads, in football, and a
Uh,
lot of eggheads.
yeah. Let me see if I can show you this one.
Van der Gag.
Definitely a lot of
That's
eggheads.
a very Dutch name.
Jeez, they do. They look like almost like brothers. Let me show you. I'll show you the picture here. Um, that's what Bernie's referring to. Bald heads in the house. Yes, they do look alike. Got the same beard. It's
Well,
funny.
one of
It's
them's
funny that, you know what, you don't meet many. I mean, I know our coach doesn't have a beard, but like you don't meet many people that go bald on the top, but then keep us, you know, a shaven face. You don't meet that many people that do that.
what, that go like full full volleyball, like all like just
Yeah, full cue ball, like like
yeah,
they don't they
especially these days because like that's the annoying thing for a lot of bald guys. They actually can grow a beard, like so it's like
yeah
so close to the head, but it's not, but they can
yeah
so the fact they kind of almost pretend that they're going for that look where they're but if you can be bald, but if you can grow a beard, at least you can have a beard. You don't just have to be bald.
right right yeah. Most guys that do the bald look, they don't necessarily go with the whole like that's yeah they normally grow they grow
If you're
facial
gonna do
hair
that,
to show that
yeah.
they
If
can
you
grow
can,
hair.
if you can't though,
Yeah,
like not everyone can. So if the guys that go full like cue ball, they tend to like just do something else, like
yeah,
I don't know, have big muscles or something. So you don't take,
yeah,
but it's a hard look to
yeah,
pull off.
yeah.
It is a hard look to pull off.
It is a hard. I would assume it would be. I would assume it would be. I don't think I've ever really been. Maybe I was younger, but I don't think I've ever really had. I've never gone like
I mean,
you know
props to I mean
all ball.
Dave Chappelle is he's probably the one person that I immediately think of that isn't like
Yeah.
obviously
That's a good shout.
but there's sort of it's got that kind
That's a
of
good shout. Yeah.
like over here there's that one who the hell there's that one guy like you see when you go full cue ball it's a move you know it is a move
It's a
like
move.
you got to
Yeah.
shine that
It's
thing up
definitely a
you've got to
defended
you're
move.
into that like you really got to kind of lean into it um and there's probably shine you can buy who's that guy who's why do I always think of that idiot off oh what's it called Pawn Stars
Oh
yeah that
yeah.
yeah
Pawn Stars. Yeah.
that
The
guy yeah like the
Rick from
bowling
Pawn
ball
Stars.
cleaner.
Rick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I even heard like that it got to the point where they were filming that in a fake version of the shop. It was being filmed on a set, like as it got like the
Yeah,
shop
because
was
they could.
still there,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
all the like later episodes, like everyone knew, like all the trades were set up. None of the people were actually just walking in. We all knew that. Like they had to be vetted or
Right.
whatever, checked out beforehand. We get that maybe they did show up randomly and then got picked to go on the show, but what they
Hmm.
didn't just walk in while the camera crew was there. But it
No.
actually apparently
No.
it got
No.
to the point where it was all 100% scripted and it was literally on a fake set where everything was being done and like obviously those guys like after about 2 seasons like you'd see all these stories about how much money they had and you'd be like
Hmm.
I reckon they're probably not working there doing the night shift anymore. I don't think Chumley is there on the
Right.
night shift. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think this might
Yeah.
be a bit set up. But yeah, apparently
Yeah.
most of them haven't worked there in years. They just show up for an hour film and then just go home.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that completely. Because there's no way that you're going to be able to like, you know, do a television show um, and then work the graveyard shift at the pawn shop. You know, that's just not happening. Just not
No,
happening.
no, but
Ronaldo
yeah,
just had a good crack at goal. Ended up being saved. It is really coming down, by the way. The rain is really coming down in this game. Might be having an effect somewhat on them being able to get this over the line for themselves. Um, there's one other thing I wanted to bring up here, and let me see if I can find this little note. Um, so I was going to say I was going to bring up this opening day results, and uh, I know we were speaking on our opening fixture, This is the last. This is the last topic I had for this, and I know your opening fixture. There are going into this campaign, this upcoming season. You would be surprised actually on who has a very formidable unbeaten run on match day one. We've been pretty decent on our first day match days. Maybe that's why they wanted to put us on an away match fixture, and see how we do, to see if they can break that cycle, because we currently have the longest unbeaten record on match day ones, currently at least, at 11 games. I don't know if anyone out there knows. Could you maybe take a guess as to who has in this upcoming campaign, who is number 2 or number 3 even in that list? We have 11. Currently, we're on the 11th year that we've been the 11th opening day. We've had 11 opening days unbeaten in our matches.
Oh.
Do you know who has the second longest going into this upcoming campaign?
Unbeaten first game. Do we get to know how many? Like, we're on 11. You said. Do we know how many? Do we get to know how many they're on? How many is number?
You want me to tell me how many? You want me to tell you the number that they're on?
I don't think it will really change my ability to guess. I'm just
okay.
But,
okay.
I don't know. The obvious
they're
one
on
would be
5.
Man City.
On 5.
Obvious Man City, maybe.
No. Man City's not in it.
Let's see. So who might be third then? Unbeaten.
By the way, Portugal is losing. By the way.
Yeah.
1-0.
Check this. It's not Man City. That's how many? What is the number? How many unbeaten is number 2? You said
we have
6
11.
or 5?
We have 11 games unbeaten. Our current unbeaten run for match day 1 games is 11 games. The second team has five games, and then there's a log jam with four. But the second place team has 5.
Okay, I'm gonna say Crystal Palace.
Oh, great strike! Man U is not the team, which is pretty surprising. I thought that Manchester City would be. I thought you're right. I thought Manchester City would be on this list, but they must have lost recently.
You missed my. I'm guessing Crystal Palace.
Are you Crystal Palace is not on it either?
Yeah,
Crystal Palace is not even in the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
In the logjam.
Yeah, they're not in the top 10.
Well, I can't keep guessing, so I've had to. So
no, I'm allowing for the chat to take a guess. I saw Bernie said Man U.
I mean, I'm not going to keep guessing, so I've had to.
No worries. Man U is not there either. I was just wondering if anyone else had one to take a crack. Derby County, excuse me, is Derby County is at 5. Swansea City is at 4. Leicester is at 4. Chelsea is at 4, and Bournemouth is at 4. That's the log jam I was speaking of. So, kind of it's a big drop.
What's that? Number 2? Who's number 2?
Derby County. Derby County is number 2. You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Jota's come. Well, yeah. Mark wasn't very happy about Jota not playing, but
I know. Trust me, Mark. I'm with you. I have him on my fantasy team, so I was not happy with that either.
How much time is left?
Oh, it's plenty of time. It's 65th minute right now.
Yeah, but they need 2.
Arsenal's not on this list either. No, Arsenal's not the list. Here, let me bring up. I'll show you the list. I'll show you the list actually.
Who scored for Czech Republic?
I don't know. I didn't see who was that.
Mark can tell us. Mark will tell us in the chat.
Yeah, Mark probably tell us. But
Bernie mentioned something before there that was off topic. It's disappeared off my screen there. I can't remember what it was. If you can scroll back, I can't remember.
She's just saying that she brought up the doppelgangers was to change the subject on managers' grooming habits.
Oh,
basically.
Yeah.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Appreciated.
Mark,
I know you're listening, Mark, and I know you came in late last night, but did you watch the quiz back? Because I know you're a bit disappointed you missed it. I'm just wondering if you watched it back. I think an hour and a half, I think, into the stream is when it actually starts, if you're watching it again. But yeah, make sure you go back and watch it if you want. It was good crack.
Mm-hmm.
So 11, geez, we're kind of, it's a bit, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Ooh.
I mean,
Diego is on, but Diego almost got a card right there. A high challenge, high boot. He made contact with the ball. It just his follow through ended up, which is scary. His cleats actually ended up grazing the back or grazing the head of the Czechoslovakian player. It's going to be interesting to see how they muscle through to get some type of result, if not a win in this game, because Czechoslovakia has finally scored their goal. Now they've been doing a decent job at playing defense. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of like put the brakes on a little bit and try to hold on for a result. But at the moment, they are going forward. They're in attacking. They're in the attacking half.
That's one. See, this is just quickly one. Like when you said which of the teams that's going to be in the league next year has the next best run.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Derby aren't in, so it's basically it's Leicester and Chelsea and Bournemouth are second, because Derby and Swansea aren't in the league next year. So of the teams that are going to be in the league next year, the teams with the second best are the teams.
This is according to.
But no, I'm just saying Derby and Swansea won't be in the league next year. But Derby and Swansea
this is according to LCTV.
Yeah, no, but it's just when you said it, you said of all the teams that are going to be in the league next season, who will have. But that's why I was thinking, why are we talking about Derby? They're not going to be in the league next season.
Mm.
But yeah, I suppose so. It's Leicester, Chelsea, and Bournemouth drawn on 4. But why? Mm-hmm. That's weird. Like to have more than double, almost like the next best is 4. If we win our that's crazy. That's
if we were to win or go or at least get a draw in this next fixture, I'll show you our fixtures as of late. The last time we lost was West Brom away. When we lost, it was a poor game. We lost 3-0 in that game, but that was the last time we lost an away fixture. 2012, 2013 was the last time we started off this game with a loss.
Yeah, that's crazy. And we've gotten so. Yeah, look, it's apart from Chelsea and Arsenal, they're winnable. On paper, you're winning them, but that's pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive. 8 wins, 3 draws. So that's going
1-1,
right back.
By the
that's
way,
not just Klopp. That's not just
1-1.
Some Brendan mixed in there as well.
Who was it that scored that goal there for Portugal? Just scored. Might have been on goal. That might be. Yeah, that's an own goal. That's an own goal. Yeah. 1-1. 1-1. It was an own goal. Basically, it was a cross. It ended up goalkeeper made a save, ended up going off of his defender's shin and went back into the net. Is now 1-1 in the 70th minute. 1-1 off 1-1 off in the 70th minute. I'll tell you another funny thing, or not funny, but interesting situation or perspective is. Let me show you this one. This is also an interesting little for Arne Slot. He is undefeated in his opening day fixtures as well. In the last
undefeated
in the last five in his 5 years, the last 5 years, he's undefeated. These are his last opening match day openers. So hopefully we can get a good result from him. I think that the draws are so rigged for TV viewing for certain on that one. For certain, Bernie.
OG, was
but
it? Own goal.
Own goal, yeah, own goal, certainly own goal. Because he ended up, he made the save. He made the save. It just went off. It was just unfortunate that the defender was following up and ended up going in off his shin. And once again, it's a game. It's back into being something that Portugal could possibly get a result from.
Yeah, still no nil-nils. So it's a good tournament so far.
Still no, yeah, still no nil-nils.
Yeah, goals in
still
every
no
game.
nil-nils. Yeah. So is there before we bounce out and allow for the people to enjoy the end of the Portugal Czechoslovakia game, was there anything that you wanted to bring up or talk about real quick? Anything that you had on your mind?
There was something I was reading earlier on. Let's remember it now. Hang on.
Talk about it.
What were we talking about earlier on? Hang on.
Sure.
Oh, there was something that caught my eye earlier on. I can't remember what it is right now, but they're talking about Leicester bringing in Graham Potter going back to Leicester, but that's just.
Oh wow!
Yeah, what the hell was I reading? Oh bloody hell! Joey Barton.
How many years left? How many years does he have left on his? How many years did he have left on his deal when he ended up getting sacked?
All of them.
Do you remember?
No. The story I was reading earlier on was Nicholas Fulkrug.
I meant was it 5 years? Do you have a 5-year contract or a 4-year contract? Do you know?
Oh, I think 3. I think he was on a 3-year deal.
3. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's on a 3-year deal. But what I was going to ask you about what you think is going to happen with the Copa, because I was looking at a list of players and they were talking about, like, say, the 10 players that I think are going to kind of break out or do something, or could have a big tournament kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
The 2 players, well, they were talking about a lot of players that it's not like young players, but they were basically saying, they were talking about Tyler Adams and they were talking about Ismail Kone, the Canadian midfielder. Like,
okay.
So that rather than going for the obvious guys, but yeah, I don't know anything about this guy. So, like, if you were, like, they basically picked, Tyler Adams, Rondon, Endrick, because Rondon has kind of reignited his career, gone back to Los Tuzos, and he's been banging in the goals. He's scoring in Mexico, so everyone's forgotten about him. Talking about Endrick, They're talking about Kone. They're talking about Ugalde at Costa Rica, Lichnowsky, De La Cruz at Uruguay, and Hinsape at Ecuador, Lo Celso, and John Arias. So I don't know. What do you think? What's the What's the story with Copa? What are you looking forward to? What are the games? Because I haven't
Yeah.
really been following it. What are the games to watch or the players to watch out for? In your
Well,
opinion, what two or
players to
three
watch out
would
for.
you be
I
looking?
think
Yeah,
I do have three players that I would have my eye on in Copa. Copa is going to be coming up. You're right. Let me put the names of them down here. I'll put them in the chat here so I can bring them up. These are three names I would look as being like three names that I look to have some type of breakout. Hey, welcome to the big stage. Welcome to the big lights and big city type performances, because they are. Endrick is an amazing talent, by the way. An absolutely incredible talent. Brazilian, should be someone that I think is someone that we should all realize is it's going to be a problem for a lot of teams in Spain, but also it's going to be possibly a headache for us when we have to possibly have to face up against him in Champions League if we ever have to go up against him. I also have yeah, exactly.
A young kid. No, I mean just for him. I mean, a young kid.
Yeah,
60. In terms of careers that can go wrong, it's right up there. Young kid,
yeah.
huge money move, massive publicity, goes straight to the biggest club in the world, not the destination club. Goes straight to the destination club. So there's nowhere in between to fail. When you leave Real, you're going down. Doesn't matter who you leave Real for, you're going down. Because that's the. So it's a huge pressure on a young lad, and also, you just happen to play for one of the most highly populated and football crazy countries on the planet. So good luck with all that. I see
Good
he's
luck.
already come out.
But he has already come out and scored for them.
Yeah. No, but
for
I'll
Brazil,
just say quickly, he has also come out and hit back. Well, not hit back. That's a very tabloid thing to say. He's made a point of saying, let me be Endrick. I'm not the next anything. I'm not the new anything. I don't want anybody saying, he can, he can say it, but at least he's come out and said it that, I'm not, please don't say I'm the next this, I'm the next, just let me have my own career, let me do my own thing. And he apparently highly religious, like kind of very religious. And,
yes.
Giving himself the best chances potentially. But, it's like, you go there and, for that kind of money and you get a game, it's sort of right. Okay, kid, come on, show us what all the hype is about from day one. And you've seen those white hankies. You've seen those white hankies come out of Madrid for everybody before, for Zidane, for Modric. He'll get time, but we also saw what happened to Vinny. So, I hope it goes well for him. He's going to need all that strength. Yeah, he's going to need all that strength that his faith, I'm sure, gives him. You could do worse and have something like that behind you. Gone are the days of the party animals getting signed for big money. So that's not the problem. It's not like he's better in that. Those days are gone now, where you could be out all night and partying and still get signed for 80 million by a big club like that. But he's still a kid.
No, you're right about
he's
that.
Still a kid. Right. What were you doing when you were 17?
He's still a kid. Yeah, he's still a kid, and he's still playing amongst some. Oh no, I know. I mean, like he's
We were all having
playing
a
with.
great time. We're all,
I
yeah,
was
the
in.
eyes of
Yeah,
the
I was.
world
I
on you.
was
Every move you
yeah.
make,
I love
everything
this.
you
No,
do.
I'd love to be 17 all over, certainly. But
Well,
but yeah, but no, you're right. No, Endrick has a ton of potential, a lot of a lot riding on. There's a lot riding on his shoulders if he's looking at trying to make a real go at it. But I think that he's a phenomenal target talent that will get the opportunity. That's my point. Why I think he's on this list that I made. I put Garnacho on there, even though he is a Red Devil. I think that he is going to try to utilize this as a breakout performance, like his breakout performance opportunity. He's playing on one of the biggest platforms, or biggest stages with Manchester United. But now he's going to be on that same level with Argentina playing next to Messi. So I think that's a name I would look for. And then the final name on this, and this might be me showing a little bit of my U.S. men's national team bias, but the U.S. men's national team needs a breakout performance from our number 9. We've been in one of the things with us. I know you said Tyler Adams. Tyler Adams, unfortunately, he's still
well,
working
that's
his way back into
yeah,
fitness from the injury that he had and everything else. So he's certainly a
that's
name that is, an important name. I
serious.
think he's a
That
player is a phenomenal talent, but I don't know how much he's going to. He's definitely going to be. He's going to be playing himself back into form into it by utilizing this tournament. That's not always what you want to hear when it comes to a player that you're going to be relying on. But for us also,
Who does
Balogun
Adams
is
play for? Is he like I know is he the
who
Leeds
does
guy?
no, Balogun
Adams.
is
No,
he
Adams.
Balogun.
No, Adam.
Oh, Adams. He plays for Tyler Adams plays for Bournemouth now.
Did he go to Bournemouth from Leeds? Is that the guy I'm
Yeah, he
thinking
went
of?
from
Yeah.
Leeds to he went from
Oh
Leeds to
yeah, cool. Okay,
yeah,
now I know who they're talking about.
yeah,
Okay, so he's not fit, no.
yeah.
Well, he's in their list.
He
I don't
wasn't
think
fit.
he's
He
fit.
was injured. He was injured during that window, and Bournemouth still brought him in. We were actually going to possibly be. There were talks that we were going to bring him in actually, and then he also was on the verge of possibly even going to Chelsea at one point.
He's
Um,
kind of like a
and
number
then he
eight,
ended up going to
isn't
Bournemouth.
it? Like a kind of a number eight,
Huh?
like he's kind of like a number eight,
Oh
isn't
yeah,
he? Number
yeah.
six, number eight type.
He's a
Yeah, yeah,
6/8. He's a 6/8.
yeah,
He's one of those like hybrid midfielders that
yeah. I know the
you're,
guy now.
he
Yeah,
yeah
he's had some
was
time under
was
Bielsa.
very influential on the Leeds team, I think, and obviously um, was important for them because he helped when he was out of the lineup. You notice a difference in the Leeds midfield, and same with Bournemouth actually as well. But yeah, for me, Balogun has to do well. Um, he has to do well. He's got a lot riding on his shoulders with the fact that he's going to be most likely that number 9 for us. And we've been in search of a number 9 for a while. We've had, Josh Sargent. We've had um, Ricardo Pepe, who blew up on the scene for a little while for us. But yeah, we need to definitely have a good run from Balogun as that guy. And unfortunately,
He scored.
I don't see this.
He scored when he went to Monaco, didn't he? I think when he finally got a move
Mm-hmm.
away from Arsenal, he went to Monaco. I think, didn't he? And I think he's.
Mm-hmm.
If correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he scored that season. He did good numbers, but that wasn't last season. That was so.
Yeah,
Where was he last season? Is he at Monaco still, or where is he?
I
Like,
think
where's he
he's
playing
at
his club football?
Monaco. Right. Yeah.
I was sure he went. I was sure he went to Monaco. Well, again, it's Florida and Balogun, the guy from Arsenal, right? That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure he went to Monaco.
He's playing at Monaco, but mhm.
Yeah, did he
Yeah,
do well
he plays
last
for
year?
Monaco currently. I can tell you
Because
that
I
in a second. Hold on.
remember, yeah, because one of my mates who's an Arsenal fan, he was saying like, I just remember saying to me, yeah, he always said like he was really good, and then he was saying, yeah, look, he went away and he was scoring goals. He said, I take him back, kind of thing. But
Well, you know what's interesting about Balogun as an Arsenal player, like as a former Arsenal player, what's interesting is that they were at a moment where they need a number 9 for themselves. They've had Nketiah, they had Balogun even further down as possibly a third choice selection, even behind Nketiah. But
yeah,
if
he
you were to
never got
look
the
at a
shot.
lot of the statistics that Balogun has, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, yeah, you're right. He never got the shot at
What'd you
Arsenal for
say?
some
Say it one more
reason.
time.
He never got the
He
shot
never
at
got the
Arsenal.
shot. Right.
They always just like, yeah. And I was having that conversation with Billy, my friend, the Arsenal fan at the time. He was like, we don't have a number 9, and we're loaning this guy out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
He was
which is, and if you look at statistics, oh, it's not a shocker. Not a shocker. Diego.
See, there we go. We
Shot
talked about it.
caller.
Coming on, making the difference. Exactly what I spoke about
Yeah.
earlier on.
I think,
You can see it in the stars.
and he just and he's doing the baby celebration. Does Diego have a baby coming in the way? I don't know.
Maybe someone does. Maybe someone just had one. Maybe
Normally when you see those kinds of celebrations, you see it from because you just had a newborn, or you just have or you have a child. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, it's because someone
They're
just
doing the
had
goal.
one. Oh yeah, definitely that's what it's for. Yeah, but someone maybe
Yeah.
one of the teammates just had a baby or something. But oh yeah, it is. Yeah, that's what it means. That's great. Yeah, look, it's good when you can predict stuff. And we said, look, Jota coming on against our defenses, watching the game.
Oh, they called an offside, by the way. They called an offsides.
Oh.
They called an offsides.
Oh. I thought it was confirmed.
I don't think it was. It wasn't on Diego because Diego wasn't involved in. He wasn't part of the front portion of it. I think if anything, it says to me, Diego's got to start, man. You should start Diego. You should start Diego. That's got to be a card too, by the way. Yeah, Bernie. Yeah, unfortunately, that goal was marked off, so it's still 1-1 right now. You might as well just hang out for next. Like there's probably about 4 minutes left in this game. We can hang out for the next 3-4 minutes, but because right now it's 1-1, 89th minute. I know Marion's feed is I think a little bit in front of mine. She might be able to provide you with the updates quicker than me. But yeah, 1-1 is the current tally in this game. Yeah, I was just getting on about Balogun. If you were to look at Balogun, and they are utilizing the semi-automated offsides, by the way. So
yeah,
it is a lot faster. It is a lot faster when they utilize it. I know VAR sucks, but he was offsides. It was a good call. I just don't see how Portugal can't be running away with this game, though. You realize how many the level of players that Portugal have? Like they're bringing off Diego off the bench. Yeah. They're about to bring on Excuse me. They're about to bring out Pedro. They're about to bring Pedro off the bench. Neto off the bench, you know?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier on. They've got
Yes.
about 300 million quid worth of talent on that bench, easily,
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
They're bringing on Fabio Conceição now.
Yep.
I just discovered a little thing where I can drag it in and watch it without interfering.
That's cool.
In a little screen kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
which would,
Yeah, man.
kill my eyes, but at least I can see it.
I bet it is. I bet it is. I will say this. Look, they Czechoslovakia is not just, doing what I
No, they're
thought they
not
would
here
do,
to
which
make up
is
the
just,
numbers. They're not here to
yeah,
make up. They never are, man. They're a proud nation. They're a proud team, and even like they're one of those teams who every one of their players is probably like a 7 out of 10.
yeah,
Like at work,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
or
yeah,
want to
yeah.
be harsh,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
call it a 6.
Yeah.
They don't have
Mm-hmm.
like just really rock solid. They mightn't have out and out superstars, but just rock solid in no weak links. And when they all
Mm-hmm.
get together, really strong team spirit. And sometimes in international football, that's really all you need is you get your players that do what they're good at and have a good team spirit, and everybody pulls together. That's what sank France so many times. They imploded. Infighting in the team, cliques in the team, little
Oh,
groups that
wait.
splintered. Oh,
And
oh, it's a goal. It is a
it's a
goal.
goal.
It is a goal. Tops are off. That's unlucky.
Wow.
That's unlucky.
Wow. Wow. We're in 4 minutes of extra time.
It's
And
international football.
wow. That wow, man. Well done. They just look like they on
Hey,
that
Tarmizi.
particular build up play.
Haven't
That
seen you
was
in a while,
big up
man.
M Tarmizi in the house. Big up.
Probably.
Hope that you're well.
Hope he's well. He's probably halfway
And
through some kind
Tarmizi
of round
probably,
the
yeah,
world
that's
marathon.
because exactly. He probably just got done running like 20 miles or something like that. Just
He just
figured
like
he'd
he
come
just
in.
ran across the Gobi Desert in 2 weeks or something. He just dropped in like he's on some. Oh, that's unlucky. The kid near. Oh, that is so unlucky. That is so unlucky.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the Czech defender kind of has it stuck between his
He
legs and
has
it
it. I don't
just
know
squirms
why
out.
yeah. He was like kind of like
It
off
just
balance, so
squirms
he ended
out.
up,
Yeah, he
yeah,
couldn't. It just squirmed out. He thought like 2 inches another way, and the ball is just stuck between his legs, and nothing happens.
yeah.
It's some.
You know
I don't know
what's
how that
also a
squirmed out.
concern? What's a concern is that goal scorer that just scored. You only need if you have 2 yellow cards, you miss the next game. So he's got to be careful. He's definitely got to be careful. Like as in if he gets another yellow card in the next game, he could miss
Oh,
their
listen to
final
this.
game.
Name dropping in the chat. Name dropping in the chat. And it's
Oh,
not
big
even the
up,
streets. It's
Mizzy.
not even the streets. Do you want me to pick that up for you, Tarmisi? You dropped it on the ground. I mean,
Yeah, that's because he's always beating.
wow.
He's always
Tell us
beating
more.
big
Tell us more. Tell us more.
legends, legendary Reds. You got to meet Risa too. I think he
Where's
met
Glenn?
Risa too.
No, but I'm just intrigued to find out what part of the world this is in, because this is Tarmisi. It could be New York, it could be Singapore, it could be anywhere. Where are you meeting Glenn Johnson?
Yeah, yeah.
What's the context? What's the setting, as it were?
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah, well, anyway,
And be sure,
that
Antar Missy, be sure to ask Glenn to give us subscribe to the channel, maybe even partake in you know giving a guest appearance on the channel here. Great.
in a quiz. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is my we'll get it. This is the dream. We'll have a quiz with Glenn Johnson, Daniel Sturridge, and someone else we managed to dig up.
yeah. There you go. That'd be cool. That'd be
David
definitely cool.
James and him is in town. Oh, okay. So just casually dropping in David James there as well. Fair enough.
Got you. Got you. David James. David James
Sorry.
likes to
So they
sometimes.
have a. Is it their Asian tour? Okay. So is it a Legends? Are they on a Legends tour?
I
And
guess
you were on
so.
as in their Asian tour. So I'm assuming they're like it's not just Glenn Johnson and David James are on some kind of tour of Asia. That's been so I'm assuming it's some kind of Legends tour. Um, that's nice, very nice.
That is really
Yeah,
cool.
make sure you get some. Yeah, I don't know. Make sure.
Oh, he
Yeah, I'm
does. He
sure you've got
always does end
plenty of
up getting
pictures.
like cool. Yeah, he definitely gets cool photos and pics.
Oh,
He's
okay. They're doing a football clinic for the young. Very good. Okay, now I get it.
yeah,
Now I get it. So they're
yeah,
doing a youth clinic. That's cool, man. That's really, really cool.
yeah.
Man, that would be genuinely awesome because they were there back in like David James is there right back in the day, like in the 90s, and Glenn Johnson was there like in the Rafa 2000s
Hmm.
years as well. So, and I bet they can both still play. They both look out,
Yeah,
definitely Glenn Johnson.
they look
I
after
bet they
themselves. Yeah,
both still
they
play.
definitely go to the
Yeah,
gym. Yeah, they definitely
yeah.
utilize their gym memberships.
David
Yeah,
James was getting Armani contracts that were worth more than his Liverpool deal back in the day.
yeah,
He
yeah.
was
I
one
bet he was
before Beckham. Before Beckham, there was
before
David James.
Beckham,
There was David
before
James.
Grealish,
Da- yeah.
before
David
Grealish.
James was the first guy to do the Armani underwear stuff. He was the first guy. So
Hmm.
before Beckham, that's why we have the whole Spice Boys reputation with Redknapp. Obviously not Jamie Fowler or Robbie Fowler, but Jamie Redknapp and David James. Yeah, we even before United did it, we did it as per usual. We did it before United did it.
Hmm. Hmm. Uh, yeah, they are a lot of. Yeah, they are. They are. They are.
Keeps them
Wasn't
busy, doesn't it? It's good to keep them busy.
It does. It
You can't have
does.
all these ex players just wandering around out there doing nothing. It's not good for them.
No, it's not. They keep sometimes it can keep them out of trouble.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
they've
sure.
got Range Rovers to pay for. They've got Range Rovers to pay for. So
Yeah, they do.
I
Um,
know. But as we've spoken before, it is very hard, and obviously these are the like again they're kind of the chosen few in their careers, but there are for every guy that's an ex pro that's on TV or has a job at a club, there's 1,000
mhm,
that don't. So even
mhm.
again, these guys are the chosen few again.
What? It,
The Roy Keanes and the Redknapps that get all the commercial deals and stuff. There's hundreds of guys out
mhm.
there that have to go find other work. So it is a harsh game. It's a harsh game. So you can't blame them for taking 5 grand to do this and 10 grand to do that.
I'm going to ask you, how did you feel about when Michael Owen became a ambassador for us?
I thought that was a
2000,
pretty bizarre choice, considering it was
2000 what? 2016, 2016, 2015, 2015, 2016. I think it was 2015, 2016 season, or maybe the year after that, he became the Liverpool international ambassador.
I I think it was almost like a an attempt to reclaim Michael Owen. I
Mhm.
I didn't understand it, especially at that point. It was kind of not something. I don't really think anybody kind of asked for it, really. I don't even know if Michael Owen was expecting it.
I don't think he was. I
Very
don't think he,
strange,
a lot.
bizarre. Yeah, really
I
bizarre choice. Bizarre choice.
yeah, a
It
lot of
really
there was
was.
a bit. There's a heavy out. There was a heavy like uh backlash against him being chosen as it, and then it was like even some people got to the point of trying to petition and trying to figure out how to
Mm.
get him out of out of the play, out of the spot.
There's loads of guys out there you can ask. I mean, of all the people to to do, it was just like I said, just a kind of just really bizarre decision. No need for it. Nobody wanted it. Nobody. It's a totally, what's the word? Almost ceremonial position. It means nothing.
Mhm.
Again, I mean, obviously it means something, but you just show up at some stuff. It's not an actual job. So no, again, just a really bizarre, and I'm not really sure who made that one, who made that call. I'm sure even Michael Owen, being the total kind of oddball that he is, would even have been, "Are you sure?"
Yeah, yeah.
But Marion, what is it you are angrily disagreeing with there? Just before, I'm not sure. Did I say something that I've angered you to disagree with?
No, I think she was talking about. She just said she doesn't agree with him being an ambassador. When I said Michael Owen.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, again, I think he'd go a long way. You'd have to go a long way to find someone who thought it was a good idea. Like, even if someone secretly kind of like was like a really massive big Michael Owen fan, if they were a
Hmm.
sensible
Hmm.
person, even if they were that and they were a sensible person, they'd still say, yeah, that's not a good idea. Like, nobody's going
Hmm.
to want that or like it. It was He was already pretty unpopular before he joined Man United.
Hmm.
Like, he'd somehow managed to be kind of, but he hadn't done anything that bad. But when he went and joined them, yeah. So I'd be interested to know actually whose call that was, because it has to be somebody's
Hmm.
idea. But
Yeah, that I wouldn't know. That I wouldn't know. Um, but it is unusual to see those kinds of people get those opportunities, and when they do, it is a little bit of a head scratcher as to say like, you know, what is the reason other than ceremonial, as you said, to be given that.
yeah, there's other guys that need
Um,
that that boost, even if it's just, there are other less, like Michael Owen doesn't need another job. Also, that's another part of it.
mhm,
And he's not going to do the kind of meet and greet stuff at a lower level than that some of these other guys might do. Again, like I say, anything that can keep these guys in the game, that were around the game, or give them something back, or keep them involved in some way that aren't
mhm.
going to be otherwise. Like, you don't need like some guy that's always on telly anyway, or always like, is a multimillionaire racehorse owner like Owen is. Just give it
Yeah,
to some
yeah,
of them.
yeah,
The guys who need a job more than nothing else. Keep them in the
yeah,
game. Oh,
yeah, yeah. Totally. I have updates again. 2-1. Portugal has won. I believe that was the last game of today's Euros
yep.
against Czechoslovakia. Very, very crazy comeback win for them. They almost had it from Diego. Then they ended up rolling it out. Then they brought it back in, and they still pulled out the 2-1 victory. Certainly a wake-up call for Portugal that nothing's going to be easy in this tournament, despite them having incredible I said Pedro Neves. I meant Ruben Neves, by the way, too. Yeah. Um, no, I said Pedro Neto. I did say Pedro Neto. Um, went in. But um, Yeah, it's going to be something of a dogfight for them to get through, like through this through any of these games, because other than possibly the German matchup, we haven't seen any real like hands down from start to finish, really like
Spankings.
dominating performances just yet. Than I guess Germany versus Scotland is the only thing I think we could say. So, but is there anything you want to say to the people before we let them go on this Twitter Takes Tuesday?
It's only Tuesday. It's a slow week for some reason. But yeah, enjoy your night, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. And hit like, hit subscribe, all that stuff. Definitely hit like.
Yes, definitely. Hitting the like is definitely important. I appreciate that. Hopefully you enjoyed the, as always, hopefully you enjoy the content that we're doing and making an effort to bring you. We have some really great shows lined up for you, as always. We're definitely already, I know the quiz was a very big hit. I've already heard that from a couple of people. So we're going to be working on trying to bring back another quiz. We got a couple of episodes, like I said, that are some more specialty pieces. We got our normal, weekly fixtures involved. So it's going to be, it's summertime, but it doesn't mean that you are limited with the outlets that we have in finding Reds content. And we're going to do our best to make some real good content for you guys to tune in, be a part of, share, obviously comment, and hopefully garner a like from you in our efforts. So I definitely want to say I hope the best in the world for all my Reds out there. And as always, I would finally just say, up the Reds, people, up the Reds. I will see. We both hopefully will see you tomorrow. All right, and take care.